and I'm joined by Mr. Jethro Rusike from JCTV Zimbabwe. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. How are you?
Today we're talking about the situation in Mozambique. Who is sponsoring the war in Mozambique?
I'll tell you from the sources that I managed to gather that information from the sources that are in Mozambique. They are telling me that in the upper parts of Mozambique, they discovered oil and natural gas. Many countries, they started coming in, they wanted to, explore that area. And I'm told that in the upper parts of Pemba province, where this whole militant group is operating, that's where America was, because America went there and they started collecting some samples since around 2011, 2012. That's when they started collecting some samples. So they kept on prolonging, not starting the project. And that kind of like frustrated the government of Mozambique. They ended up awarding the contract to the Russian government. So the company that was actually going to start the process of extracting oil in that area of Mozambique is called Norgado. So this is what has happened. According to the sources that are there, they are saying because America was frustrated, they had to do something in order to make sure that Russia does not become the beneficiary in this oil that is in Mozambique. So these, I believe, are the sponsors of this militant group.
Okay, so the guy who is in charge of the rebels,
yes,
who is he, and what is his history?
I'm told this guy was one of the commander. He was one of the commander in that area. So what then happened when this militant group started striking? Because this militant group, I'm told, they don't come and start a war. They just come with their guns, and then they come and they capture you alive. So they started raiding police camps in these places. They started raiding police camps. And then the commander was there, was his name. There was another commander who was actually killed. His name is Javier Ruiz, something like that. So he was captured by these guys. And then there was another one who was the top guy there in the army. They captured him as well. After capturing him, he disappeared for some time, and his whereabouts were connected to America. He went to America and then he came back. He is now linked to being the leader of that group. So he knows that area very, very well.
So the Russians,
yes,
who do they have in there fighting on their side?
Frelimo soldiers, the soldiers from for the government of Mozambique. They went in there trying to to restore the situation after a number of camps were raided by these guys. And I'm told many of the Frelimo guys, they were wiped out by this group. So after that, when these guys were wiped out, then they sent the Russians. And I'm told these Russians, they also wiped out again because they could not understand the strategy of these guys. Because the strategy that is there is that probably if we can take you back to what happened in the liberation struggle. The liberation struggle, they worked with all collaborators, the local community. So the local community in this area, they are now in support of these guys. That makes it very, very difficult for any force to come in and be able to progress, because these guys, they just rise up as civilians, whilst the army is thinking that we are here to do an operation. These guys, they come out as civilians and they capture them, and that's how they are getting killed.
How did they get the support of the local community?
The support of the local community was that these guys, what they are preaching, they were preaching, this commander whom I was telling you about, he is preaching that why is it our government is supporting Russia? We want this, America is going to bring peace. is going to bring money and jobs and employment in this community. So we want America to come and work in this area. That's what they are saying. So what they are doing, these guys, when they raid, be it a shopping center, they allow the local community to come and loot the food. ShopRite was there, and ShopRite was, they loot everything, and all their warehouses, they took everything. So even when they raid trucks and they give food to the local community. That's how the local community is getting involved. So instead of them fighting them, they know that these guys, they are deadly, they can kill them. So what they are left with no choice but to support this militant group.
Okay, so let's go to the perception that these are Islamic insurgents. Where is that coming from?
Actually, it is not a perception, it's the truth. This is what is actually happening. These guys, according to my sources, they are saying that these people are actually connected to Al-Shabaab, the one that is operating in Somalia. So they are connected to Al-Shabaab, and in all their killings and in all their operations, they actually, when they raid a camp, I'm going to send you the video, when they raided a camp and they put up a flag which has got all the ISIS inscription on it. So that is why it is an Islamic militant group.
Okay, so how is America and Al-Shabaab cooperating in Mozambique? What is the common interest?
The common interest is oil. The common interest is oil in this regard, because I'm told that the oil that has been discovered there, they are saying it's even much more than the oil that was discovered in the barrels of oil that are in Libya. They are saying this whole area is still virgin. That oil it has got so many barrels of oil that are going to be extracted in that area. So that is the common interest that people are having in that area.
Okay, the South African company Sasso has got operations in that area. How come the South African government is not involved in this war?
Whether they fight or not, they are not going to reap any benefits. So probably the best way is to withdraw out of that war deal, because these guys are actually moving very fast from that province, in that province.
Okay, now let's wrap up. Have you talked to anyone who has been in that area?
I've spoken to one of the person who actually, he said he survived by winter because he actually ran away with the company car because these guys, they raided the camp where they were, and then because he had learned the language there and learned the operations out there, so he had to comply and pretend as though he is in support of what the community is vouching for, of supporting the militant group. That's how he drove and he left that area. So he is one who gave me all this information and some other sources that are there.
Okay, what kind of weapons are these guys carrying? So much so that they can defeat Russians and Mozambican military.
These guys, they are well armed, they are well equipped, and you can see that they actually, as they pay allegiance to ISIS, probably that's how they get some of their weapons, because you know these guys, they don't use your tankers and all of that. They normally use your normal hand carryable guns, and those are the type of weapons that they have. And it's amazing how they manage to raid a camp, police camp and army camp, and they win. And also then the other factor also makes them to be more powerful is that they have a former commander who is leading them, who is well aware of the strong points of the army of Mozambique. So that makes them also difficult to overcome, because they are dealing with a military man who knows Mozambique in and out because of him being a former military man.
Okay, let's look at the type of soldiers that they have recruited. Who have they been recruiting?
I'm also told that what they are doing is that because of the support of the local community, and other, especially in the areas surrounding that Pemba province. What they're actually doing is that they are, people are living just like what used to happen in the liberation struggle, whereby young boys like 17, 18, 19, they disappear. But because the local community cannot, one, expose their own, number two, they don't want to be ostracized, so they don't publish this. So if somebody has disappeared, nobody talks about it. It's just known that somebody has disappeared in the community, but he has joined. So they are recruiting young people and all the unemployed people that are in that society.
Okay, so should Mnangagwa send soldiers?
According to my source, he was saying that they must prepare body bags for these people because these guys are very lethal, and the fact that they operate under the auspices of the community that is there, it makes it so difficult for them to be combated by any army. Look at what is happening in Nigeria. They've brought in Cameroon, they've brought in Niger, but still they can't defeat Boko Haram. So it is very, very, I mean, it is deadly for these people to go there with no knowledge of how to deal with such militant groups that are being, that America and other countries are failing to deal with them. Right now, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and all these groups, they are still existent. So I really feel like it's a suicide mission for Zimbabwe.
Right, Mr. Jethro Rusike from JCTV Zimbabwe. It's always a pleasure having you on Gambakwe Media. Is there anything else that you want to say before we close?
It's our brothers and sisters who are going to die. Whether it's Mozambican soldiers, they are going to die. They are all our brothers. We need to tell our leaders that this is a dangerous mission. They need to engage people who are good at it in order for them to deal with these guys.
For all the people that are watching, please go and subscribe to JCTV Zimbabwe on YouTube. And you can also find the website. What is the website called?
Website is jctvzimbabwe.co.za.
Right. Thank you very much, sir. And we'll talk to you again very, very soon.
All right. Thank you.